Hey, Nation back with Lisa, and you can still go by the branding Call That Girl.
I am, but I've been just kind of moving to my name now, and it seemed to be a good transition. I took the Call That Girl off my banner on the website, but I have it in email, and I put my picture up. And so I kind of am replacing the logo with me in my signature and just kind of, you know, becoming the me now instead of the brand the logo.
Yeah, no, good idea. Personal branding. A lot of people changing things up.
Right.
So let's talk Windows 11. You have good things to say. What's going on with Windows 11?
So last fall, I was just waiting for the launch, and all the other techs in the groups had already seen it with development, but I always like to wait until I get it live with the client. Then I'm surprised. So I started taking calls, and it was a little confusing for me because, all I do is Outlook 365, OneDrive, a lot of OneDrive and Teams and all that. So as the calls start coming in, you got to remember my client base is a lot of home residential clients,
Yep.
plus home business owners that all buy off the shelf. I have very few corporate clients that come in on an Azure or an Active Directory or a company domain. Very few sometimes, but so all my clients are buying stuff off the shelf, and they all 100% set it up the wrong way usually. First thing they do is when they're doing the setup wizard, they put in their business email, which connects them to a Microsoft personal account. So right there, that really can mess up their OneDrive and because if they have a Microsoft 365 account with the same email, they have two accounts, big messes. But I've learned that, it's just the interface. Pretty much everything I do with Outlook is in the same spot and like all versions. So to me, it doesn't matter. I know where everything is. I had a few learning hurdles in the beginning. But now I don't even care what people have when I support them. I just remote in and find out at the time. So it doesn't really matter to me. And I'm really good at it now. And I know some shortcut tricks to open and close things and things like that. But I see it all day. Doesn't even bother me.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that because as you know, I go around the horn with our analyst and another analyst. I won't name her, but she felt there was hesitancy, Windows 11 hesitancy in her world, different world than yourself, right? Yeah. So understood, but it's nice to have balance in our coverage, right? And so I appreciate it. I have not gone to Windows 11. Part of it is I'm a little bit of a curmudgeon, and part of it is I've just had experiences with Microsoft. Here's Windows Vista Ultimate. Okay.
Well, let me show you something back here.
All right.
Studio I've set up. Okay. So I have a Windows 11 HP Envy. Thing runs awesome, except I've heard it sounded like it was about to take off like an airplane one day when I was trying to download 50 gigs of email. Did not like it. It was getting hot. So I got to think about that in the future. Then I bought a Mac Mini. That's because I want to start doing videos. So I have released, and I actually got a whole nother mic and everything set up for the second.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, well, I had to get serious about making the videos. So I did put out, I'm putting out new videos. And the last one I did was Windows 11 and OneDrive part 1. So that's on my YouTube. Then I have Windows 11 and OneDrive part 2 coming, which includes setting up business OneDrive, Teams, and all of that. I give a ton of helpful hints. So go ahead and put that in the link too if you want. But it's always good to watch those if you're not familiar, because you learn from my mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hear you. I'll end on that. I'm not alone in saying that. I've always learned much, much more from my mistakes than my success. You know what I mean? And trust me, I still make them.
Well, I just made I made a boo-boo in my video, but I'm great at just telling everybody, hey, that's what happens. And I just keep going. I don't edit out the boo-boos.
Yeah, I did something goofy. One fine day, Android phone, one fine day. Since I've had this phone and for several phones, I hand create the contacts that I want to text, right? I want to keep it in keep it in the box, and I don't need to text everybody. And I did something. I guess I looked away and touched a screen, and it brought in out of Outlook, I have like 22,500 contacts, from just over the years and CRM integration. And darn if that thing didn't bring in 20,000 contacts. And so now when I want to look up Lisa Hendrickson, I have to spell it in a really long format. Sometimes the phone whirls and twirls a little bit. It finally brings up your contact record to text, but man, I sure wish they had Control Z. And I actually studied for it. I'm like, well, wonder if I can do Control Z and get those 22,000 contacts out and get back to about 300 real contacts.
Well, I support Android as well, but I'm going to tell you that is an operating system I don't understand as much as the iPhone.
Yeah.
iPhone, I'm like top notch with that stuff, but the Android, I lose it. I don't know how, because I've had 3 of them and I don't understand them. I'm like, I get them and I don't get it. I'm like,
Well, we'll make that the final word. We'll talk to you next quarter. Thank you.
All right. See you.
All right.
Bye-bye.